Chairman Joseph Chiarelli. It is a pleasure to be here with you. So first, I would love to hear about your early life and how you became the Winnebago County Chairman.
How early do you want to go back?
As early as you want.
I'll start probably in my 20s. So I'm a master tailor by trade. My father was a tailor. I apprenticed with my father. And the reason for that is I wanted to continue on his legacy as a tailor. There were very few tailors anywhere in this country at that point in time. And so by learning the trade, I was able to then morph that into owning my own business, which then it becomes a service business, right? So politics is all about service. And the business I was in the service business. So it was a natural fit for me to start making clothes and altering clothes for professionals, doctors, lawyers, political people, men and women, and started building my relationships from that point. And then as you build relationships, you build trust with people, and they, trust what you're doing for them as a skill, and they also trust your words. So it was very instrumental for me to start my career politically, because I was making clothes for a lot of political people.
All right. If you don't mind, would you tell me some major events or some major people that shaped you into who you are today?
People who shaped my life as it is today must be my parents, for sure. They're instrumental in my life as far as both of them are immigrants from Sicily, became U.S. citizens in this country, and always strive for me and my siblings to understand that this is the greatest country in the world, and where they came from was poverty-stricken Sicily at the time during the war, World War II, and to always recognize the fact that how blessed we are, and family comes first. Make sure we take care of family, and also our friends. Also to recognize the fact that we have a country that gave a lot of opportunities for them from coming from nothing, and to build on that. But to always recognize and remember and honor the fact that we came from very humble beginnings.
Oh yes, I definitely agree. On that note, what have been some of your most memorable moments as Winnebago County Chairman?
Memorable is in the positive or in the negative?
In any way.
Well, the negative is when we first came into office in 2020, it was an emergency situation that occurred, a fire up in the Rockton area, the Chem Tool fire. And that really set the tone of myself and our Chief Strategist, Chiarelli, today, to really recognize how important emergency situations are to what we need to do to protect our citizens in this county. It's a primary role of mine as chairman of this county, is to protect all citizens, and that's either from natural disasters or man-made disasters, to make sure that we are responding appropriately, and the recovery efforts are also responded appropriately. So that was a major impact in my life, going through that emergency disaster situation, working with the federal government, the state government, and local governments to ensure the safety of our citizens and make sure that it was contained and handled appropriately. So that was an early beginning of understanding truly what my role is as county chairman at the highest level you can get as a chairman of a county. And other meaningful events is really continue to build relationships with the 20 different district representatives. We have several different personalities that you have to manage at all times, and you also have to deal with elected officials, right? We have 11 different municipalities, villages, towns in this county, and all the electeds have their own priorities, and my job is to make sure that those priorities help implement them for those elected officials and their respective boards, but also to make sure that we have a vision for our county. And so the meaningful impact to me is working and continuing building those relationships and building that trust with these different electeds, to make sure that we're all striving to meet our goals, which is to have a positive impact for the citizens of Winnebago County.
Well, obviously you have to deal with a lot of stuff as Winnebago County Chairman. So I would like to know how you keep you and your team motivated when doing all of that.
So, as an elected leader of this county, it is one of my roles is to make sure they understand the vision of what we're trying to accomplish, right? If people can see the vision and understand the vision, it's easy to implement policies in place to make sure that the vision comes to life, right? And so you have to have a starting point. And when you have a starting point in life and you have a foundation under your feet, people will buy into it. Right? People will understand what you're trying to accomplish because it's all on the positive side of things. It's not on the negative side of things. Right? When I first came into elected office here in Winnebago County, things were very turbulent. There was a lot of mistrust, a lot of different personalities that were around that just kind of lost their zeal for life, right? As far as a political life, right? Things were doom and gloom, and I thought coming into this position, I wanted to bring life back to people to understand that we are on a mission, right? And it's to serve, and not to serve ourselves and to get into wars with people and to fight over things that are meaningless, right? And that's what happens to people a lot of times, right? You're angry with somebody and you really don't even remember why you're angry. You just feel that emotion, right? So setting that tone in Winnebago County in 2020 and 2021 was the ability then to have them move forward to different visions of what's really important for Winnebago County. You know, there's 102 counties in the state of Illinois, and being the 6th largest county, you know, we were probably 98th in the state of Illinois that didn't matter, right? Because if you Googled Winnebago County back in 2020 and 2019, it was all about dysfunction and lawsuits and fights that were going on. And to really bring the credibility back to Winnebago County, which includes all the 11 different cities in the whole entire state, to acknowledge that we mean business and we're better than who we were, really mattered to me, right? And then that evolves into on the federal level too. Right? When you have a good reputation with your federal legislators and your local legislators and your state legislators, they're going to take you serious when you want to try to accomplish something. So does that help?
It definitely does. You brought up something earlier about having a vision and maintaining personalities. So I would like to bounce off of that by recognizing that Martin Luther King Jr. said in his I Have a Dream speech that it's the content of character that matters. So you being a leader and someone with great character, what does that statement mean to you and how is it relevant on your job?
Well, it's relevant for me because having good character can mean a lot of things, right? Because if you could think about Walt Disney World, the character is a funny thing, right? Mm-hmm. But in politics, having character means you have real soul,
yes,
right, behind you, right? And when you say good character to me in the political world, it means that you're trustworthy, right? Your words matter, your actions matter, right? So when you portray to people that certain words that you're expressing to them, but your actions negate those words, you don't have any character, yes, right? You become a Walt Disney character at that point, right? And there's a place for that, but not in politics, right? You want people to understand when you speak certain words to them and sentences and phrases to them that has meaning behind it. And I really strive to do that, and plus with the county board, that what we say matters to people, right? And they take it, especially the youth in this community, right? They look to leaders to make sure that they have a good foundation. And back in 2020, 2019, when there was so much turbulence going on, you couldn't expect the youth to believe anything they were saying because the adults were fighting.
Yes.
Right? So that's really important to me. Coming from an immigrant family that always strived to make sure that we understood what our role in family life was about, you know, to help the family unit. and to help others outside the family unit, because that's what government is, right? We got to help ourselves first. When you get in an airplane, they say in the time of an event on an airplane and the mask comes down, put the mask on yourself first. So that's the first thing I did with Winnebago County. Let's give ourselves oxygen first before we can help the outside world. Because once you can help yourself, then you're able to help the outside world in a better way. But if we're weak and lacking oxygen and lacking energy, then how are you going to help anybody? So that was the first thing I wanted to make sure, is that the character of who we are as a county government is meaningful to other people.
I definitely really like that vision. I definitely see that vision. And I also agree that that is extremely important, especially in our county. Now, part of having great character is recognizing when others have it, which you did in 2023 when you presented a Juneteenth proclamation to the Sounds of Good News Yes Club. I would like to know what motivated you to do that, and what exactly has been your experience with Dr. Carl Cole and the Yes Club.
Well, as far as Dr. Carl Cole, he's an amazing person, right? Anyone that dedicates their life to music, because that's the calming effect to all humans and animals. Music is the unspoken, unheard vibrations is what we experience with music, right? And then you put words to it and then sounds to it. It all has to have harmony, right? So creating music through Dr. Cole creates harmony, right? We all can gather around, in an Italian community, we gather around the kitchen table, right? The food. But most people will recognize melodies and harmonies more than words. If you think about a song, you have a hard time remembering the words, but you have a better time understanding the harmony and the melodies. You can hum something more than you can actually say the words. I'll fill in fake words just because the sound is there, because I can't remember the actual lyrics, right? So what Dr. Cole has done is create an environment for youth to gather around that kitchen table of music, right? So their souls can be enriched, and their hearts and their minds, because it's the universal language is music. I come from a very musical family, right? And I remember my father was in the music industry, and him trying to teach me the guitar was very difficult because I was always moving around too much. My hands wanted to move, so I became a drummer. But at the same time, he would not sing me the lyrics. He would hum me the melody. And once that set in, learning the lyrics was easy because I knew the melody and I knew the harmony behind it. And that's honestly what life is about, right? As a tailor, I was trained in very specific skills, and it's really not about sewing. It's about balance in life. It's about harmony, and it's something that you project to people, your professionalism. So when you're in harmony and you're in balance, you can relate that to any industry you're in, any sector you're going into in life. You have to have a good balance, right? You have to understand both sides of each equation. Like in math, you can go forward, 1 plus 1 is 2, or you can go 2 minus 1 is 1. That's balance. You got to go back and forth on something and making sure it works appropriately either side of the equation. And to be in harmony is universal language, right? You and I right now, we're harmonious. We're communicating, right? There's no agitation between us. There's no confrontation. So you're in harmony. And when your eye senses harmony and your ears sense harmony, life is a lot better.
So on that note, I would just like to get your opinion on where do you think the Character Matters show will be going? Where can you see us end up in the next year or two, or even a few months?
I think it's endless where you can go with it. If you stick to your principles on character, right, and build on that character and be able to adapt to different characters, you've got a successful formula in life. because you're not going to be around people all the time that are positive. You're going to be around negative people, right? There's people who want to grow things and people who want to destroy things, right? If you think about planting a seed that grows into a tree, it takes years, but it takes 10 minutes to tear that tree down, chop it down, right? And so growth, to me, when you have good character, you're able to grow. There's no ceiling above you, right? I never expected to be county chairman. I expected to be the best tailor in the United States. Did not expect to be county chairman. But life brings you on different roads, and I felt that being a tailor, a master tailor at 23 years old, and finding out that the ability to reach the level that I needed to be at, that I wanted to be at, it was a very ugly process to get to that point. With a lot of drugs and alcohol abuse in the fashion industry, and things that I did not want to participate in. And so looking at that to say, okay, is that really a goal of mine to be the best? Because I was classified as the top 100 tailor in the United States at that time. So there was no ceiling above me. But what I saw and what I experienced is reaching to those executive level companies. I didn't like what I had to go through to achieve that goal of mine. So understanding that what really was my motivation behind my goal, was it to be the best or was it to serve the most through my skills? And understanding as I matured more was that it was to serve the most. Because all I was doing as a tailor is making someone feel good, look good, even if it was a mask for them. But I wanted a little bit more out of it to truly to have an impact on people. And yes, I could have achieved my goal through very murky, ugly doors to go through, but I knew that it was either going to destroy me or destroy my vision. And so understanding that I was making a lot of suits for men and women in the political arena, I liked what I saw at that point. I would have a better chance of having a major impact on people's lives. Starting out as, on committees, and then being elected as a Rockford alderman for 8 years, and really serving a district and a ward with a certain amount of people. And then as you start building upon that, what happens is that people start recognize your abilities and they want you to advance even though you're not sure you want to advance, right? But when people recognize that you have certain skills and traits in you that would fit, and they communicate that to you, then you start thinking about it. Maybe I can do this, right? And it's all because you have discipline and you have a vision. But to really understand a vision is, what is it you're really trying to accomplish? Are you trying to achieve a lot of money so you can help a lot of people? Or are you trying to achieve a lot of money so you can accumulate material goods? Right? Because when you chase the dollar, you're never going to catch it. But when you chase your dream of helping the most amount of people you can, then you got a winning formula. And the money will come as you need it.
Yes.
Right?
I love your outlook on life. I'm just sitting here and listening to you, and as a poet, I'm recognizing how deep and meaningful your words are. And I appreciate that you took from your experiences in your early life and you're using your wisdom to nourish and to help our county. You genuinely care about serving people. And that is, to me, that is a huge aspect of phenomenal character. So as I mentioned earlier, that part of having phenomenal character is recognizing when someone else has it. And so to me, that brings to mind when you gave me the Service Excellence Award at the Yes Club Youth Forum back on September 29th, which was actually my birthday. to me, to be recognized by someone on as high as a level as you, that truly made me feel and truly helped me recognize that the community sees the impact of the S Club even as I'm at an early age. And it gives me hope and it gives me motivation to keep going, knowing that whatever sacrifices, whatever time that has been spent was not in vain. So I would just like to know what motivated you, what motivates you to continue to be there and to support the S Club.
I think they're doing phenomenal work, the S Club. Again, when you serve a population or a community or a select age group of people, that's all we have in this world, is our legacy.
Yes.
Right? I have 2 children. Doesn't matter what I give them materially in life, it's what is inside them that I've given them so they can continue on for generations. So the S Club is all about that, right? It's about legacy, right? What are we leaving behind? Is it positive or is it negative? And when you give positive energy and positive vibrations, again, back to music, that's what people know. You and I've already forgotten the questions you've asked me, but I know how I feel at this moment. And that's what you leave me with. Is how do I feel when I leave that person? Was it positive? Was it pleasant? Was it unpleasant? You know, was it emotionally troubling? The Yes Club is all positive, and it's all about legacy and longevity. So it was my honor to be able to hand you that Chairman's Service Excellence Award on your birthday. And I hope it has an impact in your life going forward.
Which is why I greatly appreciate your perspective. Thank you so much for taking the time to share your wisdom with the county and to share your wisdom with me.
Well, it's been an honor to sit with you. I can tell you have good character.
Thank you.
You know, you have a good soul. So just nurture it like growing a seed into a tree. Just keep feeding it, watering it, and you'll get to where you want to be in life.
Thank you.
Know where you want to go.
I would just like to say that as I'm sitting down and as I'm getting to know you, honestly, I am relieved that our county is in the hands with someone as great as you. I'm relieved to know that you truly do care about our community, and I'm relieved to know that you're not just about words, you're about action. And so I'm looking forward to moving forward with you and your support for the S Club. So thank you.
Absolutely. It'll be there.